Most founders sound exactly like the competition. If you want to be competitive in a crowded market, you can't just be better, you have to be different. I'm your host, Cameron Olds.
And I'm Dallin Merrill, and we're here to talk about how you can avoid being mistaken for your competition, differentiate your brand, and ultimately create a lasting competitive advantage for yourself in the market.
Welcome to Differentiate or Die. This episode of Differentiate or Die is brought to you by MessageOS. And by brought to you by, we mean written by.
If your team describes your product 10 different ways, your product is no longer differentiated. It's confusing, and so are your customers.
MessageOS helps big teams keep every sales deck, social caption, and support reply on message and on brand.
Clear, consistent, differentiated. Every time someone talks about you.
See how it works at protagonistcomms.co. Darren Merrill, welcome to this new quick little segment we're doing called Differentiation in the News.
I love it. I'm excited for this. What's in the news, Cameron?
So in this segment, we're going to break down real companies doing real things, making real moves in the market. We're going to talk about who's gaining ground and who's losing it and how their competitive differentiation is driving those outcomes. So we're going to take a look at things driving the news, things in the headlines, and look at how their differentiation or how the lack of differentiation is actually the thing that's responsible for those things. And the big thing in the news today, Darren Merrill, is Anthropic. Have you ever heard of Anthropic before? They're the company behind Claude, the OpenAI ChatGPT competitor, right?
Yes.
Anthropic is offering the U.S. government access across all three branches, so the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, and all of the different agencies underneath that. They are offering all of the federal government access to Claude for $1 per agency per year, or for a year, I should say, for $1. Everyone gets access for $1. That's insane, because I know that the compute costs on these models is insane. And the government bureaucracy is really, 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 really deep. And there's going to be a lot of people using this. So I can't imagine that this is not really, really cost effective for Anthropic, which is kind of crazy. But I think this is an example of what you and I always talk about, which is if there's no difference between the two, between you and your competition, between your two products, the only lever you have to actually drive competition is price. And I think that Anthropic just grabbed that lever and threw it as hard as they could, because they literally give everyone access in the federal government for $1. What's OpenAI supposed to do about that? Now you're just in a race to the bottom.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, that's exactly what they did. They said, OpenAI is going to beat us. There's no way. How do we actually get any market share, because we do the exact same thing as them?
Yep.
And they're the big boys. They're the biggest. They just came out with this big thing with ChatGPT 5, or OpenAI 5, or I don't know, whatever. And so what are we going to do? How do we capture the market? And they just threw that price button to the bottom.
Yeah, dude. They pressed it and they didn't put their finger off the button. They're just they keep holding it and spamming it, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like you could be. Okay. So a great example, just of a market in microcosm. The market is the U.S. government. You have OpenAI, you have Anthropic, you have xAI now, Elon Musk's AI outfit. You have all three of these big meat-eating AI companies fighting for government contracts. They're all fighting for market share, and there's no difference. So they're competing on price. That's exactly what this is. But I feel like there is room for crazy differentiation. I feel like the needs of government, the governmental bureaucracy has some serious problems and needs that one of them could solve in a really differentiated way if they spent the time and created a product that was specifically for governmental agencies. Maybe that's what they're doing. But I feel like if you have that.
No, their marketing strategy here is, okay, it's only a year. After the year, we can increase prices, number one. And number two, this is a huge publicity stunt. So we don't actually care.
Loss leader.
Yeah, like it's we don't care about the government. Like we're not doing this because like we want the government to whatever. We're not changing our product to be specific for a government agency. We're trying to get as many people that aren't in the government to use my product. We're trying to get as many people to choose us instead of OpenAI that don't work for the government, that are just normal people or businesses or
so
whatever.
you think this is a strategic thing
Definitely.
to just get, really interesting.
Yeah, because if the government uses us, you could too, right? Like they're like, oh, we're good enough that the US government is using us. And so, you over there, like you could use us too. Like we're backed by the government, basically is what they're saying.
I did see earlier that the government is willing to spend like $200 million on contracts, AI contractors though. Like there's some serious money to be made if you can get
they
it.
could have, right? Like I think you're right. Like I think exactly what you're saying is like, instead of like putting their price super cheap for the government, what they could have done instead is like, hey, we're going to cater this so that it's really useful for government agencies and they're willing to spend a lot on it. So they could have gone that route and differentiated their product, but instead they pulled a price publicity stunt.
They went the easy route. They didn't spend any money differentiating the product.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just goes to show, if you're differentiated, you control price. You can justify price. You can charge above what the market charges.
Yeah.
But if you can't, then it's just a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Sucks this up.
100%.
So it'll be interesting. We should keep following the story because it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see who gets what contracts and the reasons why they get the contracts, if those details are made public. So we'll keep following the story for you. Thanks for topping in to Differentiation in the News.
See you guys. Bye.